Today we're continuing our journey into the universe of Star Wars with Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire
Inland
Strikes
Empire
Back.
Strikes Back.
Was this your first time watching it for either of you, or?
Yeah, I have to admit,
That's a big negative.
This was my first time.
I've seen it before, but the most recent time was 2 years ago. Before rewatching it for the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. This was my first time.
It was your first time? Okay.
Yeah.
So how did you feel it held up as a movie?
I think this movie is boring.
Really?
Empire Strikes Back. Yeah. I said
How
that
so?
last time,
How
too.
so? I thought it was actually pretty exciting.
The pacing was a little weird.
Yeah. I sort of agree. Like, I feel I'm kind of half and half. Like, I feel like the movie was exciting, but like the excitement left me confused, because the excitement was always a result of something we didn't see that I had more questions about than the action happening. Like, the title crawl tells us that Luke set up the base on Hoth, like that entire Rebel base. Like, and I was like, wait, where's that story? Like,
Yeah.
that one pilot guy that did that cool thing, like he's the leader of your rebellion now, and then there's like a scene where the Millennium Falcon escapes from the Empire, and they're just like on the wing of some like Empire thing, and I'm just like the scene that we see is them escaping from the wing, but I'm like, how'd they get on that wing? Like, I've never seen the Millennium Falcon land with that much precision, let alone.
Yeah, I agree. I was like, did I miss a scene? I had to rewind it.
Yeah.
And Boba Fett never gets named.
Yeah.
Fun
His
fact.
name never gets dropped, huh?
He's just bounty hunter.
And he only has like 5 lines in the movie.
But he's still definitely Australian.
Yeah.
Well, with the mystery about him, 5 lines is all you need.
Yeah, no, he is definitely a badass.
I was, I guess, tickled to see Yoda after all this time. This is like the first appearance he's supposed to make with general audiences. And I just love how disheveled and like neurotic he is.
Yeah, Ben has a theory about that, or the reason why he's so disheveled, right?
I guess the continuity, like the official story, is that he went to Dagobah to learn how to turn his life force into the Force. You know, like that's something you have to learn to do, I guess. I don't know how Obi-Wan learned it without going to Dagobah, though. But Qui-Gon told Yoda to go there. And so, but because the Force is so strong on Dagobah, Yoda is constantly like talking to all the dead Jedi in the universe. And so he's just gone crazy from years of just being not by himself, but talking to like every dead Jedi in existence.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good. It's good stuff. But yeah, he's definitely crazy.
I kind of imagine like myself in a similar situation, just like being in the middle of nowhere and just have like this homeless dude just like being my only chance at finding a way out of it. And just like having to deal with somebody like that.
Yeah, it was a little...
I'd be pretty pissed.
Yeah, I wonder what it was like on the first viewing. Like, did people know right away that was Yoda? Because he's got such an iconic image now.
Yeah.
If they were just like, man, what the fuck? What did Luke get himself into?
I wonder if that's what we're missing. You know what I mean? Like, I wonder if that's what we don't have nowadays that we had back in those days. I mean, we do still have it in the form of anime, like that goofy master. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that guy who's stronger than you, but he's totally silly.
Yeah.
Like, we don't exactly have
brooding.
that anymore.
No. Well, that's because our cultural aesthetic is all about brooding seriousness.
Yeah.
Well, technically, there's still like weird sidekick characters. Maybe not in fantasy or like maybe or even like action like this, but like definitely comedies. There's always like the weird like fat kid who's like
Yeah, but yeah, like on the surface, definitely. But then they'll go in and they'll be like, "Oh, and the reason I'm fat is because my Dad hits my mom. You're like, what? Like, couldn't you just be? Can't we just go back to the days of the Goonies?
Well, but I think what it comes down to is that people don't like Goofy as well, like, because now they think about it, we've established through interviews and whatnot, like, that was the original plan with Jar Jar, was to make him some, like, dark Sith, and it's like, people were like, no, we don't like goofy stuff anymore. Like, every master has to be serious.
I think one thing that gets lost is also, like, our element of surprise. Because, like, before I've ever even seen the movie, you know all the reveals.
Yeah.
And so I think it kind of... you're just anticipating everything, looking for clues instead of actually feeling it organically like you would like the first time.
Yeah, how'd you guys feel about the most misquoted line in cinema history? People say, Luke, I am your father. But he doesn't say that. He says, no, I am your father.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I bet the first time people saw it, they like literally like fucking started crying or some shit.
They made the same face Luke made. That capital D colon. I will say, like, we should probably address it because, I mean, in this day and age, probably the reason that people will be rewatching it the most is to keep track of that lightsaber that we know that someone is going to get in a later film.
But what is underneath their sky in the city? Like, is there actual Earth down there?
I don't know. Like, maybe some sort of, like, yeah, maybe there's like a junking operation that, like, Maz Kanata runs or something.
It could have, like, totally, like, landed in, like, the junk area. Scavengers come, and they just come across this fucking lightsaber.
Yeah, because Luke has a green one in the next movie, right?
Yeah, but it's said that the green one is like Luke's actual lightsaber. Like, the blue one that we are used to seeing is still Anakin's, and always is Anakin's every time we see it.
Speaking of that, of lightsabers, I really liked the duel between Luke and Vader. It definitely felt like they were holding fucking huge laser beams, and it's like one wrong move, man, a limb's going. They're like tense and kind of like
I would hate to land
on.
I've always been interested in that. Like, what are the if you drop a lightsaber, will it just keep slicing through the floor, or like, you know, like how what exactly are the logistics of how a lightsaber turns on and off?
Why do people start saying Han Solo when every person in the movie pronounces it Han?
Really?
Yeah.
Respect for Koreans?
Yeah.
Fast and the Furious fans? I have no idea.
I'd say there's probably a lot of very, like, iconic shots, especially in this movie.
Like what?
Just like Vader in the shadows, like steam, and like the lightsaber battle and stuff like that. Like the images it comes to mind about Star Wars. A lot of them can be found in this movie, I think. So I'm just complimenting the art direction.
Yeah, it's great. I agree with you on that one.
For me, it was a return watch, and so I did have a way different, like, perspective watching it this time than any of the previous times I've watched it, because I was watching it with that whole, like, big chronological thing in mind, and also looking for that lightsaber. It's interesting because in terms of the new movies, no matter what they do, they always make you rewatch the old ones.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, they're doing their job and making us keep watching these films.
Yeah, because apparently the helmet that Rey wears on Jakku is Luke's helmet, or maybe one of the other guys' helmets from Hoth. I don't know how the fuck that helmet got onto Jakku.
Yeah.
Scavengers, man. Scavengers.
Scavengers are everywhere.
I gotta say, everything that Yoda was saying about Luke is 100% correct.
Mm-hmm.
He never finishes his training. He's too emotional.
Mm-hmm.
He's a Skywalker.
Aww.
How'd you guys feel about the music in Empire Strikes Back? I really liked the new themes, like the romance theme.
Yeah, there was my favorite of it all was a little xylophone that they used at one point. But yeah, the romantic scenes were definitely pretty iconic as far as score goes.
We also got to talk about the other greatest ad lib, so they say.
Oh, the I know.
Yeah.
Was that was it really?
Yeah, I guess during the shooting or maybe the script readings, Harrison Ford said, Han would never say something like this. He would say, "I know." Like, yeah, you know that you're absolutely right.
That's the show? I don't know if we have anything else to talk about.
I just want to say one more thing before I'm done.
Okay.
How many times did Luke shout out the word Ben? Ben, Dagobah, Ben, Yoda, Ben, Dagobah, Ben.
They kind of sound like he's like going through a wet dream.
Yeah.
Did he ever
You make a drinking game out of that.
Did he ever tell anyone that he was seeing the ghost of Obi-Wan Kenobi? Or does everyone just see him like shouting and talking to random empty spots?
Well,
Except for Yoda, of course, who also apparently saw or heard him but didn't see him.
Yeah, no, I think the only person who saw him speaking was Han Solo, and that was when Luke was freezing to death. So I'm sure he's just like, yeah, he's fucking dying. He's having a hallucination. Let me cut up in this tauntaun.
Yeah, I can see that.
But yeah, he was definitely like, Ben, Dagobah, Ben, Yoda, Ben. Like, I want to find a soundboard of that. Just. And then when he gets on Dagobah, he's just like, Ben, Obi-Wan.
See you guys.
Follow me on Instagram. And I'm done recording. Dagobah, Ben, Yoda.
배드 드림 스프레이